Before we dive in, if this is your first video, my goal with this channel is simple. It's to help skinny men build muscle without all the bodybuilding bias. I like to make things simple because that's what actually is going to give you results when it comes to recovery, your training, and your nutrition. Over the years, I was able to help a lot of skinny guys go from insecure and weak to strong and confident. And if you're watching this video and you're struggling to get in shape, chances are I can help you too. Now let's get into how I actually train. Most of you already know what I'm about to say, but repeating myself is not a bad thing because sometimes you don't need a lot of information, you just need to remind yourself. And every single time I talk about simplicity, there's another 10,000 influencers talking about how to build muscle, and they make it way too complicated to the point that it becomes a rocket science. And trust me, building muscle is not that complicated. And we are not some equation on a piece of paper. So here's exactly how I train. I lift 4 times a week and I run the upper lower split. So from Monday to Friday, I train 2 days, and Saturday and Sunday, those where I train the other days. So in total, basically, I'm training 4 times a week. And basically that's it. I only train 4 times a week, no more, no less. And on the days that I'm not training, I try to stay active all the time. You can do this by doing cardio, whatever type of cardio that you like, because you don't always want to be sitting down on your rest days. You still want to be active. But normally I prefer to play football. So I try to play football at least 1 or 2 hours a week on the days that I'm not training. Trust me, if you only stick to this, you will look better than 99% of the people that go to the gym every single day and they still look the same since they started going to the gym. Now, when I'm in the gym, my goal is to train as hard as possible without wasting no time. Because my training session lasts anywhere from 45 minutes to max an hour. That's all I have. And for most people, you don't have that much time to spend in the gym. So for that reason, whenever you go to the gym, you want to train as hard as possible with intensity and a good intention. So whenever I go to the gym, I try to build my whole self every single time. And I do this by adding more weights, adding more reps, or sometimes just getting better on my technique. And I'm not going to the gym to impress anyone. I'm only going to better myself. But here's the thing. When I go to the gym, when I'm training, I'm not guessing. I track every single thing. I track my workouts, I track my lifts, I track my progress. Every single thing that I do in the gym, I make sure I track. Because if you're not tracking, you're simply just guessing. And if you're guessing, you're not making any progress. Normally, when I'm tracking my workout, I use a spreadsheet. That's exactly what I use with my clients as well. So that's what I use in the gym to track every single thing. But if you don't have a spreadsheet, if you don't have an app to track your workout, just use a notebook and a pen. Whatever you do in the gym, the amount of weights that you lift, the reps, your technique, the intensity, make sure you track everything. So when I say intensity, you want to also track, are you training to failure, close to failure, or are you training beyond failure? Trust me, that will make a lot of difference when it comes to your progress. So now, what does my actual workout looks like? So let me give an example. So when I'm doing my upper split, I only train each body part with 2 exercises. So for example, for my chest, I will do bench press and incline dumbbell press. Basically, that's it. And I make sure I only do 2 sets to failure or beyond failure. You don't need to do more than that if I train with real intensity and intention. And basically, that's what I do from each of my body parts. I only choose 2 exercises and I train to the max failure. But also remember, because most people, when I say only 2 exercises, they will think that's not enough volume to build muscle. But you have to remember, you're training each body part 2 hours a week. Understand? You're training each body part 2 hours a week. So that doesn't mean you just have to go to the gym and hammer yourself doing a bunch of volume, drop sets, supersets. That's not how you're going to build muscle. That will work a lot better if you're on steroid. But if you're natural, you want to stick to the low volume because that's how you're going to build muscle. And when it comes to frequency, it matters a lot. You don't want to train each body part only once a week. Because when you zoom out and look how the body actually works, it's very simple. You have to apply an amount of stress to your body that it has never experienced before. Then you recover and you grow. It's simple as that. But when you go to the gym and you keep on lifting the same weight over and over again, no wonder why you are not making any progress. You have to challenge your body. And trust me, progressive overload is not easy because you have to get off that comfort zone. Sometimes I lift some weight and before I even lift that weight, I'm already thinking about it. I'm already nervous. And that's where you're going to make most of your progress. It's not easy, but it's simple. But here's the thing. Most people never train to failure. And that's why they end up doing, 15 sets, drop sets, supersets, because they don't know how to actually hit failure. But if you actually train to failure and you're sure that you're training to failure, all you need is 2 sets, and basically that's it. I don't remember the last time I did 4 sets, 15 or 16 reps. I probably did that when I first started training, when I didn't know how to actually train or how to prioritize my workout. But since I started doing 2 sets and I was training to actual failure, trust me, the amount of difference that I make within the short period of time, it was insane, to the point that people started accusing me of taking steroids. But it wasn't that at all. It was the fact that I started to do everything right to the book. Now let me show you how you're going to structure your progression. Let's say you're doing a bench press, because I think bench press is probably a very good example. Every single guy is trying to do bench press. Let's say you're doing a bench press. If you're a beginner, you're going to do 3 sets of 8. And on the following week, if you're doing a bench press, you're going to do 3 sets of 9. And the week after that, you're going to do 3 sets of 10. And once you hit your top end, you're going to increase the weight by 2 kilograms or by 5 pounds, depending on what metrics that you use. And after that, you're going to increase the weight, but you're going to drop back to 3 sets of 8. Then you're going to repeat the same routine over and over again. It's simple as that. And I know people are going to bring up researches, and trust me, I've seen those meta-analysis whereby they say you have to do 40 sets per week if you really want to build muscle. Just think about it. 40 sets per week per body part, that's insane. We have been studying about how to build muscle for over 100 years, and still people can decide what is optimal. And that's because the real answer depends on you, on your training, on your recovery, and the amount of intensity you apply on your training. But most of you guys that follow this research, doing 40 sets, there's a high chance that you guys are not training properly or with the right intensity. Because trust me, if you are really training with good intensity and good intention, you won't be able to do even more than 20 sets per week per body part. And you might be asking, what about the high volume lifters? Listen, those guys are the 0.01% of the population when it comes to the genetics and the ability to build muscle in a faster rate. And at the same time, most of the guys are on steroids. So whatever they do, they will be able to build muscle, no matter what. And chances are, you're not blessed with those genetics and you're probably natural. So you need to take a different route if you really want to maximize your muscle gains. And remember, most of you watching this video, you will never step on a bodybuilding stage. Most of you just want to build muscle to look good, feel confident, and for longevity. And that's exactly what I teach on this channel. So when you see me training 4 times a week, don't mistake that with laziness. Whenever I step in the gym on those 4 days, I'm training to maximum failure. I'm not going to the gym to play around. I only go 45 minutes to max an hour to make as much progress as possible. And that's how you're going to build muscle while training less. And I am a proof of that. So when I first started training, I was in the gym almost every single day, thinking that more is better. But in the past 3 years, when I started changing my workout to only train 4 times a week and condense my sessions to 45 minutes to max an hour, that's when everything changes. Sometimes less is more. And that is the real message I'm trying to drill today. You don't need to train 6 times a week. You don't need to do 20 sets per muscle. You don't need to do some complicated workout program that makes you look like an equation on a piece of paper. All you need is a simple program that you can stick with in the long run. That's what actually matters. A program that you can stick with in the long run as long as possible. So guys, this is the end of the video, and I hope you guys gain a lot of value from this. If you have any questions, comment down, subscribe, whatever you like, and I will see you in the next one.